The warning lights flashed red across the monitors at Earth's Deep Space Monitoring Station. Dr. James Walker rubbed his tired eyes, wondering if the coffee had finally failed him after his 18th hour on duty. But the signals remained, pulsing with an unnatural rhythm that couldn't be explained by normal cosmic radiation. "Sir, you need to see this," called Robert from his station. The young technician's fingers flew across his keyboard, bringing up new data streams on the main screen. The pattern. It's repeating every 47 seconds. James walked over, his worn shoes making soft sounds against the metal floor of the facility buried deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. The underground station had been monitoring space for 30 years, but never had they seen anything like this. "Run it through the quantum decoder," James ordered, his heart beating faster. They had installed the quantum computer system last month, and this would be its first real test. The machine could process patterns that normal computers would take years to analyze. The main screen filled with streams of data, numbers and symbols cascading down like digital rain. Then, suddenly, everything stopped. The computer had found something. "That's impossible," Robert whispered, his face pale in the blue light of the screens. "Sir, these are messages. Hundreds of them. They're talking about us." James leaned forward, his coffee forgotten. The decoded transmissions were clear now, alien civilizations discussing Earth. But what made his blood run cold was the phrase that kept appearing. "Quarantine status." "Get me the Joint Chiefs," James said, his voice steady despite the trembling in his hands. "And Robert, tell no one about this. Not even your wife." Within hours, the facility turned into a hub of activity. Military officers filled the control room, their uniforms adding splashes of color to the usually monochrome environment. General Williams, a tall woman with steel-gray hair, stood behind James as he explained their discovery. "They've been watching us," James explained, pointing to the decoded messages. "These transmissions suggest multiple alien civilizations have been monitoring Earth. They've placed us under what they call a quarantine status. They're actively preventing us from joining the galactic community." "How long?" the general asked, her face unreadable. "Based on the timestamps we've decoded, centuries at least, maybe longer." The room fell silent. The implications were staggering. Humanity had never been alone, but they had been isolated, caged like animals in a zoo. "There's more," Robert added, bringing up new data. "The messages discuss something called containment protocols. They're debating whether current measures are still sufficient." General Williams straightened her uniform, a habit James had noticed she displayed when making important decisions. "Dr. Walker, I'm about to tell you something that very few civilians know. We've been preparing for this day." She pressed her palm against a hidden scanner in the wall, and suddenly new screens lit up around the room. They showed military bases that didn't exist on any public map, weapons systems that shouldn't be possible with current technology, and ships. Massive ships hidden in underground hangars. "We've known something was coming," the general continued. "We didn't know exactly what, but we knew we weren't alone. Every major government has been preparing, building, advancing in secret." James looked at the displays with wide eyes. The level of technology he saw surpassed anything he had imagined possible. "All this time?" "Yes," General Williams nodded. "While they thought they were containing us, we were getting ready. The quarantine had one effect they didn't expect. It made us paranoid, cautious, and very, very prepared." The general turned to face the room full of officers and scientists. "Ladies and gentlemen, as of this moment, Operation Final Warning is in effect. Alert all commands, but maintain absolute secrecy. Let them think their quarantine is still working." She smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "Let them think we're still the primitive species they need to contain. When the time comes, they'll learn just how ready we are." James looked back at the alien transmissions still scrolling across his screen. They thought they were the Watchers, the superior beings keeping humanity in check. They had no idea they were about to become the watched. The hunter was about to become the prey. The game had begun. Tom Reed sat in his dimly lit office at the Pentagon, surrounded by walls of screens showing historical data. As the military's top analyst, he had spent years studying patterns in global conflicts. Now, everything was starting to make sense. "Look at this," he said, pointing to a map as General Williams entered his office. Every major technological breakthrough in the last century was followed by an unexplained incident. These weren't random events. They were tests. The general pulled up a chair, her eyes scanning the data. "Explain." Tom brought up footage from different decades, strange lights over military bases, unexplained equipment failures, and mysterious aircraft sightings. These weren't just UFO sightings. They were combat assessment missions. The aliens were checking our capabilities. He clicked through more images. Remember the global communications blackout of 2020? Everyone blamed solar flares. But look at this pattern. His fingers traced lines across the screen. The outages didn't follow normal solar activity. They were precise, targeted. They were measuring our response time. General Williams leaned forward. "And what did they learn about us?" Tom smiled. "Exactly what we wanted them to learn. Every time they tested us, we showed them carefully planned responses. Slow, confused, sometimes even panicked. It was all an act." The door opened, and Dr. Walker entered with new data from the monitoring station. "The alien transmissions confirm it," he said, placing a tablet on the desk. "They've been watching us fail their tests for years. They think they know our capabilities." Tom pulled up another screen, this one showing military installations around the world. But these weren't the bases known to the public. These were the real ones, hidden deep underground or beneath ocean waters. "Every time they pushed us, we pretended to stumble," Tom explained. "But in reality, we were learning, analyzing, preparing." He brought up images of advanced aircraft that looked nothing like traditional military vehicles. These were built based on their own designs. "We've been reverse engineering their technology for decades." "And they have no idea?" Dr. Walker asked. General Williams shook her head. "The deception goes deeper than even most world leaders know. The public military bases, the weapons we show in parades, the space program, it's all a front. The real progress happens elsewhere." Tom brought up more data. "Look at these energy readings from their surveillance probes. They're only scanning for certain types of technology. They're so convinced of their superiority that they're not even looking for advances in other directions. Like our quantum systems," Dr. Walker added, understanding dawning on his face. "Exactly," Tom nodded. "They're looking for progress along their technological path. Meanwhile, we've been developing completely different approaches. They're watching for radio signals while we're using quantum entanglement communication." A young lieutenant burst into the office, holding a new report. "Sir, we've decoded more transmissions." They're laughing at us." Tom took the report, a grim smile forming on his face. "Let them laugh. The latest alien assessment still shows Earth as a level 2 civilization. They think we're barely able to reach our own moon." General Williams stood up, walking to the window that showed the Pentagon's public face, the one the world knew. Below, tourists took photos, completely unaware of the real facility that extended 20 levels below ground. "How long can we keep up this deception?" Dr. Walker asked. "Not much longer," Tom replied. "Their messages show increasing debate about Earth's status. Some of them want to establish official contact. Others want to tighten the quarantine. We need to be ready when they make their move." General Williams turned back to face them. "Then we continue as planned. Let them think their containment is working. Let them believe their tests are accurate. Let them think they know what humanity is capable of." She picked up the report about the aliens' mockery of Earth. "They think they're the masters of deception. They think they're the superior species." She placed the report down with a firm hand. "They're about to learn that humans wrote the book on playing possum. Tom looked at his screens one last time. Years of carefully crafted responses, planned failures, and hidden advances. The greatest deception in human history was about to pay off. The aliens thought they were watching a primitive species. They were actually watching the greatest acting performance in the galaxy. Admiral Mary Cooper stood at the command center of Facility Deep Black, watching as massive hangar doors opened beneath the Antarctic ice. The chamber was larger than 10 aircraft carriers placed side by side, yet no satellite had ever detected it. That was exactly how she wanted it. "Ghost Fleet is ready for review, Admiral," her aide reported, handing her a tablet showing the status of each ship. Mary nodded, her breath visible in the cold air. "Begin power-up sequence. Let's show our guests what we've been hiding." Below them, lights flickered to life along the hulls of dozens of ships. They looked nothing like the clumsy rockets that humans publicly sent to space. These vessels were sleek, dark, and deadly, built with technology that the aliens thought impossible for humans to achieve. "Ma'am," a voice called from the communication station. "Dr. Walker and General Williams have arrived at the main gate." "Bring them in," Mary ordered. It's time they saw what their discovery set in motion. Minutes later, Dr. Walker and General Williams entered the command center. James Walker's jaw dropped as he saw the massive chamber through the reinforced windows. "Impossible," he whispered. "How did you build all this without detection?" Mary smiled. "The same way we built the bases on Mars and Europa. We used their own blind spots against them. Their sensors can't detect our quantum shielding technology. They literally cannot see what they don't believe possible." General Williams walked to the window, studying the ships. "How many?" 500 in this facility alone," Mary answered. "And this is just one of 12 similar bases worldwide. The Ghost Fleet represents 30 years of secret construction. Every ship is equipped with our latest quantum drives and AI defense systems." A loud hum filled the air as the first ship powered up fully. Its surface seemed to shift and change, like water reflecting light. "Adaptive camouflage," Mary explained. "Based on the technology we reversed engineered from their probe that crashed in '89. But we improved it, made it better." Dr. Walker pointed to strange devices mounted on each ship. "What are those?" "Quantum shield generators," Mary said proudly. "The aliens think we're still playing with primitive metal armor and chemical rockets. These shields can absorb any known weapon in their arsenal. We know because we've tested them against captured alien technology." The floor trembled as more ships came to life. Each vessel was a masterpiece of human engineering, built in absolute secrecy. "The Chinese facility is reporting ready," an operator called out. "Russians and Europeans are also going green. Indian Ocean Base is powered up." Mary turned to her guests. "What you're witnessing is just the space fleet. Wait until you see our planetary defense grid." She pressed her hand against a scanner, and new holographic displays filled the air around them. They showed a web of satellites, stations, and defense platforms, all invisible to conventional detection. "Every time they tested us, we learned," Mary explained. "Every probe they sent became a source of intelligence. Every piece of their technology they thought was safely destroyed became our teaching tool. We learned, we adapted, and we surpassed." "Admiral," another operator called out, "all facilities worldwide report ready status. The entire Ghost Fleet is powered up and awaiting orders." Mary straightened her uniform. "Humanity has been preparing for this moment since we first realized we weren't alone. Every nation, setting aside their differences, working together in absolute secrecy, while they watched our public space programs stumble and struggle. This is what we were really building." She turned to Dr. Walker. "Your discovery of their communications wasn't by chance. We've been intercepting their signals for years. We just needed the right moment to reveal that we knew. Now, thanks to your public discovery, we have our excuse to show our hand." General Williams nodded in understanding. "A perfect cover story. They'll think we just now discovered their existence." "Exactly," Mary said. They believe they're dealing with a primitive species that just stumbled onto their presence. Instead, they're about to face a humanity that has been preparing for war for generations. We're not trapped in here with them. They're trapped out there with us. The Ghost Fleet hung in the massive chamber, a testament to human determination and ingenuity. Humanity's greatest deception was about to become its greatest revelation. The United Earth Council chamber was silent as representatives from every nation gathered in the underground facility beneath Geneva. The room itself was a testament to human deception. While the world thought the UN still met in its famous building above ground, the real decisions were made here, deep below the surface. The time has come. Council President Marcus began, his voice firm. For decades, we have hidden. We have prepared. Now we will show them exactly who they've been dealing with. Dr. Walker stood at the podium, presenting the final analysis of the alien communications. We've not only decoded their transmissions, we've cracked their entire encryption system. Every secret message, every hidden command, every evaluation of Earth. We have it all. The giant screens around the chamber showed the decoded alien languages, now as clear as any human text. Tom Reed stepped forward, adding to the presentation. Their latest reports still show Earth as a primitive civilization. He said, bringing up the alien assessments. They think we're decades away from true space flight. Their probes report our technology as lockably basic. Their containment protocols are designed for, in their words, infant species management. A quiet chuckle ran through the chamber. The aliens' arrogance would be their undoing. Admiral Cooper stepped up next, activating a holographic display of Earth's true defensive capabilities. Every system is in place. The Ghost Fleet is ready. Quantum shields are operational. Our eye defense network is online. We can launch our response at any moment. The Council President nodded. Then it's time to draft our message. Let's show them what an infant species can do. For the next hour, they crafted humanity's response. It would be sent on all frequencies, using the aliens' own communication methods. But first, they would demonstrate their power. Begin Phase 1, the President ordered. Around the solar system, hidden human technology activated. Quantum sensors detected every alien probe, every monitoring device, every piece of surveillance equipment they had planted to watch Earth. Target lock confirmed, the military commander announced. Ready to disable alien surveillance network on your command. The President looked around the room, meeting the eyes of each council member. They all nodded in agreement. Execute. Across the solar system, precisely targeted quantum pulses fired. In an instant, every alien monitoring device went dark. Centuries of surveillance disabled in seconds. Phase 1 complete, the commander reported. All alien observation equipment is offline. We are now transmitting our message. On the main screen, the text of humanity's message appeared, being broadcast in all known alien languages. To the galactic community. Your quarantine of Earth ends today. Your surveillance has been detected and neutralized. Your attempts to contain us have failed. For centuries, you watched us, tested us, and judged us. You thought you were studying a primitive species. Instead, you were teaching us everything we needed to know about you. Every probe you sent became our teacher. Every test you conducted showed us your weaknesses. Every piece of technology you thought safely hidden became our blueprint. We know about the Galactic Council. We know about your species' histories, your technologies, your strengths, and your weaknesses. We have decoded your languages, your encryption, and your secrets. You thought you were the Watchers. You were wrong. You thought we were confined to our planet. Look again. You thought we were defenseless. Test us, and learn the truth. This is humanity's first and final warning. We are not your experiment. We are not your children to be contained. We are not your subjects to be studied. We are humanity. We have prepared for this moment for generations. We are ready. Any hostile action against Earth will be met with immediate and overwhelming force. Any attempt to reimpose your quarantine will be considered an act of war. The choice is yours. Recognize Earth as a sovereign, equal member of the galactic community, or discover exactly what humanity is capable of when threatened. We are ready, and we are waiting for your response. The United Earth Council. As the message transmitted across space at quantum speeds, the council chamber erupted in applause. After centuries of hiding, of preparation, of careful deception, humanity had finally shown its true face. The president raised his hand for silence. And now, he said quietly, we wait for their answer. But this time, we wait on our terms. In space, the Ghost Fleet moved into defensive positions, their quantum shields humming with power. The game of deception was over. The real test of humanity's preparation was about to begin. The Deep Space Monitoring Station buzzed with activity as alien transmissions flooded in from all directions. Dr. Walker hadn't slept in 36 hours, but he couldn't leave now. The galactic community's response to Earth's message was causing chaos across space. Another emergency session of their council, Robert reported, his eyes fixed on his screen. That's the fifth one in 12 hours. Tom Reed walked in, carrying fresh data from military intelligence. You need to see this, he said, connecting his tablet to the main display. We're picking up massive fleet movements in nearby systems. Multiple species are mobilizing their ships. Dr. Walker studied the data, noting the patterns of movement. They're panicking, he said with a slight smile. They never expected this. The main screen lit up with a new transmission. This one was different. A direct message to Earth from the Galactic Council itself. The quantum computers quickly decoded it. Playing the message, Robert announced, his finger hovering over the button. A holographic image appeared in the center of the room. The alien speaker was tall and dignified, clearly chosen to project authority. But there was something in its posture that humans had learned to recognize across species. Fear. People of Earth, the alien began, its translated words filling the room. Your message has caused great concern among the galactic community. Your deception and hidden military buildup are unprecedented in our history. General Williams, who had just entered the room, laughed quietly. They're not used to being the one surprised. The alien continued. Several members of the council demand immediate military action to contain the human threat. They view your species as too dangerous to allow unrestricted access to space. Images appeared, showing massive alien war fleets gathering. Ships that would have once terrified humanity. Now they just looked outdated. However, the alien speaker went on. Others advocate for diplomatic relations. Your technological achievements, particularly in quantum physics and AI integration, have impressed certain members of the council. Tom Reed pulled up data on the alien species speaking. They're lying, he said. They're not impressed. They're terrified. Our quantum shields make their weapons useless. They've never seen anything like it. The alien's message took on a sterner tone. The Council demands Earth submit to protective oversight. For the safety of all species, we must. The transmission suddenly cut off as Admiral Cooper walked into the room. I think we've heard enough of their demands, she said, nodding to her communications officer. Send our prepared response. The officer typed quickly, and Earth's reply went out across space. No. Just that one word. Simple. Direct. Final. They won't like that, Dr. Walker said. They don't have to like it, Admiral Cooper replied. They just have to accept it. Show them what we're doing right now. On screens across the room, images appeared of the Ghost Fleet moving into position, not hiding anymore, but displaying their full power. Quantum shields shimmering, advanced weapons ready. New alien transmissions poured in. Frantic messages between species, arguments in their council, military commands being countermanded. They're splitting into factions, Robert reported, scanning the decoded transmissions. Some want war, some want peace, others are trying to stay neutral. And that's exactly what we wanted, General Williams said. While they argue, we grow stronger. While they debate, we prepare further. A new message arrived. private communications between alien military commanders. Tom Reed's eyes widened as he read it. They're calling off their fleets, he said in disbelief. The military commanders are refusing to attack Earth. They say our defenses are too strong, our technology too unpredictable. Admiral Cooper smiled. Of course they are. We didn't just build better weapons. We built weapons they can't understand. They're fighting the last war, while we've prepared for the next one. Dr. Walker looked at the stream of alien communications still flowing in. What happens now? Now, General Williams said, we wait for them to realize the truth. They're not dealing with the primitive species they thought they knew. They're dealing with humanity at its finest, creative, determined, and most importantly, ready for anything they might try. Outside the station, Earth's defense grid hummed with power, a clear message to any watching aliens. Humanity wasn't asking for permission anymore. They were claiming their place in the galaxy, whether the Galactic Council liked it or not. The United Earth Council watched in silence as Admiral Cooper outlined the plan. The massive display showed the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, where humanity would make its point clear to the galaxy. The alien fleets are still gathering at the edge of our solar system, she said, pointing to the red dots representing foreign ships. They're debating whether to attack. Let's help them make the right decision. President Marcus nodded. Begin the demonstration. Admiral Cooper pressed her palm against the command console. Ghost Fleet, execute Operation Thunderstrike. Across the solar system, hundreds of hidden human ships dropped their camouflage. They appeared like dark shadows against the stars, their quantum shields creating ripples in space itself. The alien observers detected them all at once, a fleet larger than any they had imagined possible. First phase, Cooper ordered. Show them our reach. The Ghost Fleet moved with impossible speed, using their quantum drives to appear and disappear across the solar system. Ships jumped instantly between planets, displaying technology that the aliens have thought centuries beyond human capability. In the asteroid belt, the demonstration began. Each human ship targeted multiple asteroids simultaneously. Their weapons were unlike anything the aliens had seen before. Not the crude nuclear weapons they expected, but concentrated beams of quantum energy that could reshape matter itself. Energy weapons firing. The weapons officer reported. Target asteroids selected. The beauty of the demonstration lay in its precision. The human ships didn't just destroy their targets. They carved them. Massive asteroids were cut into perfect geometric shapes. Some split into exact halves, others transformed into massive spinning cubes. Second phase, Cooper commanded. Show them our control. The carved asteroids began to move, guided by invisible quantum fields. They formed massive patterns in space, first a double helix, then the mathematical symbol for infinity, and finally arranging themselves into the shape of Earth's solar system. Dr. Walker watched the alien communications flowing in. They're speechless. Their military commanders can't believe what they're seeing. Third phase, Cooper said with a slight smile. Show them our defense capabilities. At her command, the quantum shields around Earth became visible, layer upon layer of energy fields that could absorb or deflect any known weapon. Similar shields appeared around Mars and Europa, revealing human bases that had been hidden for years. Now, Cooper ordered, disable their probe network. Across the solar system, tens of thousands of hidden alien monitoring devices suddenly went dark. Human AI systems had mapped every single one, and now they were all shut down simultaneously. Tom Reed read from the incoming alien transmissions. Their military analysts are in chaos. One report says, they'd been watching us watch them. Another says, their technology follows paths we never imagined possible. President Marcus stood up. Send the final message. The words went out across space in all alien languages. This demonstration represents less than 10% of Earth's true military capability. Our quantum technology makes your weapons obsolete. Our AI systems have mapped every weakness in your defenses. Our ships can strike anywhere in your territory without warning. We don't want war. We never did. But we are ready for it. You have 1 hour to withdraw all military forces from our solar system. After that, we will consider any armed alien vessel within our space as a hostile act. Choose carefully. The council chamber fell silent as they waited. On the screens, they could see the alien ships starting to move. Not advancing, but retreating. They're leaving, Robert reported from his station. All alien fleets are withdrawing to beyond Pluto's orbit. Admiral Cooper nodded with satisfaction. They finally understand. We're not the primitive species they need to contain. We're not the children they need to protect. We're humanity, and we've outgrown their control. President Marcus watched the alien ships retreat, and now they know what we've known all along. The galaxy isn't ready for us. We're ready for it. Outside in space, the Ghost Fleet remained in position, their quantum shields shimmering like northern lights against the darkness. Earth had made its point. The galaxy would never underestimate humanity again. 1 month after humanity's demonstration of power, the United Earth Council chamber looked very different. Alien representatives sat among the human leaders, no longer as overseers, but as equals. Some even showed signs of nervousness, a dramatic change from their previous arrogance. Dr. Walker stood at his usual place beside General Williams, watching the proceedings. The Galactic Council had finally agreed to recognize Earth as a sovereign power, though not without significant debate. The treaty is ready for signing, President Marcus announced, his voice carrying across the chamber. Today marks the beginning of a new chapter in galactic history. The alien representatives shifted in their seats. They had no choice but to accept the reality of the situation. Humanity had not only matched their technology, but had surpassed it in many ways. Admiral Cooper stepped forward, presenting the terms Earth had drafted. "Let me summarize the key points," she said, her voice firm. Earth will join the galactic community as a full, independent member. All quarantine measures will be permanently lifted. Any future military action against Earth will be considered an act of war against a superior force. The lead alien representative, looking considerably humbler than during their first contact, stood to speak. "We accept these terms, but we must ask, how did you advance so quickly without detection?" Tom Reed couldn't help but smile as he answered, "We advanced quickly because of your containment, not despite it. Your quarantine forced us to think differently, to develop technologies you never considered possible. While you watched our public space program struggle with rockets, we were perfecting quantum physics." And now, General Williams added, "Several of your own species are requesting alliances with Earth. They recognize that humanity's path of development offers new possibilities." It was true. In the past week alone, 12 alien civilizations had approached Earth seeking technological partnerships. They were particularly interested in human quantum shield technology and AI systems. President Marcus activated the main display, showing the new trade routes and diplomatic channels being established. Earth was no longer an isolated world, but a central hub of galactic activity. "We're opening our Mars and Europa bases for joint scientific research," Dr. Walker announced. "But our military installations remain strictly under human control. Trust must be earned." The alien representatives nodded in understanding. They had learned the hard way not to underestimate human capabilities or human caution. Admiral Cooper brought up a new image: the Ghost Fleet, now openly patrolling the solar system. "Remember," she said to the aliens, "these ships represent only a fraction of our true strength. We hope to never use them in conflict, but we will always be ready." "A final point," President Marcus said, standing to address the chamber. "Earth's message to the galaxy remains unchanged. We seek peace and cooperation, but we will not tolerate any threat to our sovereignty. We are willing to share our knowledge, but we will not share our weapons. We are ready to be friends, but we will never again be subjects." The alien representatives signed the treaty one by one. With each signature, the galaxy's balance of power shifted further. Humanity had earned its place among the stars not through conquest, but through preparation, intelligence, and determination. As the ceremony concluded, Dr. Walker turned to General Williams. "What happens now?" She smiled, looking out at the Earth through the chamber's windows. "Now we do what humanity does best. We explore, we learn, we grow. But this time, we do it on our terms." In space, the quantum shields around Earth shimmered with power, visible now to all who approached. They were no longer a hide secret, but a clear message. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, ready for whatever the universe might bring. President Marcus's final words echoed through the chamber. "Let the galaxy remember this day, not as the day they were forced to accept us, but as the day they learned that humanity had been ready all along. The stars are no longer our limit. They are our beginning." The new era had begun, and humanity was leading the way.